Nah, Romans.
Where's my Bible?
I think you start off on like 4. Left off on 4.
Romans chapter 9, verse 4.
Changing like
where
it's shooting.
Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption,
That's how you zoom
and the
in.
glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh, and the promises? Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, the Mashiach came, who is over all.
Well, we just read Galatians, the 4th chapter. You know, sending his son, who was made of a woman under the law, to redeem those that were given the law. You know, who were given the law? The law was given to the children of Israel. Go ahead.
In the service of Yahweh and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh of Mashiach came, who is over all. Yahweh bless forever. Amen.
Go ahead.
Not as though the word of Yahweh have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
So even all of these Israelites, they're not numbered amongst the Israel of God. You know, pursuant to Galatians the 6th chapter. You know, because even though we're all of the seed of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're all God's chosen people. But the Most High has an elect out of those people. Go ahead.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
So not because they're all of the seed of Abraham or their children. So all of the other nations outside of the so-called white man, the Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs, and the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, those are the ones that came out of the seed of Abraham, not any other nation. But this is about to show you that the Most High isn't dealing with any other nations besides the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Go ahead.
That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Yahweh.
And who was the children of the flesh? When you go back into Genesis and you read about Hagar, you know, when Abraham popped Hagar, you know, which the child that he had with her wasn't prophesied to come. The Lord said that he was going to give him a seed and that he will bless him, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, you know. Basically, what it was Sarah couldn't wait. She felt as if she was old and she was barren and she couldn't produce any children, you know. So she gave her husband her handmaid, which they had a child, which was Ishmael, and that was the seed of the flesh. So what does the scripture say? Read it again.
That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Yahweh, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
The children of the promise are counted for the seed. So those children because Abraham had more than one child outside of Isaac. You know, he had children by Keturah as well. So those children are now counted as the seeds. You know, the ones that were given the promise. Who was given the promise is going to tell you. Go ahead.
For this is the word of promise, at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this,
and not only this, right? So the promise was given to Isaac, but then it says, and not only this, who else was it given to? Go ahead.
But when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh according to election might stand.
It says not even having done good or evil. Why? Because Jacob and Esau was Cain and Abel coming back in the reincarnation. You know, and that hatred, that enmity. When you read the book of Genesis, the 3rd chapter, which your brother already read, the Most High had it to where that enmity was there between them, and it's still look at how they're looking at us today. They still have that look of disdain in their face, man, for us. You know, they hate us. You know, to them we're a bunch of clowns, man. Go ahead. And all of that old hatred is being stirred back up, man. It's resurfacing. Go ahead.
According to election might stand.
Election. That's another word for chosen. You know, that's another word for chose is another word for adopt. That election might stand. You know, the nation of Israel is the elect. They're the chosen from the Most High Heavenly Father. Go ahead.
Not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elders shall serve the younger.
The elders shall serve the younger. So there was a point in time when we were ruling over these devils, but they broke that yoke from off of their neck. You know, and they used their sword to put us into slavery. Go ahead.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
So the Most High, that's how you know that the Most High ain't dealing with nobody but the children of Israel. It says, Jacob have I loved, and Esau have I hated. It told you that the children of the flesh are not accounted for the seed. That's talking about those other nations that came out of Abraham. But then it goes to talk about Jacob and Esau. Well, the Lord say he hates Esau. Esau is who? Esau is a so-called white man today, man. The Lord hates you. Go ahead.
What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Yahweh?
And there's a lot of, the so-called white man thinks that the Most High is unrighteous. Hell, 2/3 of our people think that they are unrighteous. Here it is, the so-called white man as well as the other nations came together and they all conspired together to put the children of Israel in slavery. That's it on that. You grab our Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Because all of these nations were confederate together. The ones that were spearheading the whole operation is those Amalekites, those gutterists, the ones that lie and say that they're Jews, but they're really the seed of Edom. They're really the seed of Esau according to the Bible. Go ahead. 83:1.
Psalms 83 verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consult against thy hidden ones.
And they consulted against thy hidden ones. You know, with their what do they call that? When their summits, when they all gather together, you know, basically it's called the UN, United Nations, man. This was the United Nations back in the ancient time. But all of these nations which hate us, because all of these nations know that the Most High have chosen us over them, so they're jealous, you know. Hey, the scriptures say in 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, it says that the other nations shall envy you, but they shall be able to do nothing against you. Didn't it say that the other nations said, let us come together and cut them off from being the people? You can't cut off the children of the Most High, man. Hey, Aki, you know what that said, where it says, if you can break the covenant with the sun and the moon? I think that's Ezekiel 31.
Jeremiah 31.
Yeah, Jeremiah 31. Kind. Go ahead. So, if somebody can grab it, I'll for sure. Okay. Go ahead.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
When you got it, come with it.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against the tabernacles of Edom,
33.
and Ishmaelites of Moab, and of the Hagarenes, Ebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre.
And all of these nations were confederate against them, and they're the reason that we're in slavery right now. Hey, they like to equate the so-called Negro in America with the Negro that's in Africa. I'm sorry, with the Hamites that are in Africa, you know. But the people that are on the west coast of Africa, they're not the same as all of the other people that inhabit the continent of Africa. You know, you got Israelites that are mixed in over there. You got Israelites that fled into West Africa in 70 AD to flee persecution. And guess what? Those Africans, can you grab that in Joel 3 and begin at verse 4? You know, because all of those nations, I'm sorry, because the nation of those Hamites, they took us and they sold us into the so-called white man. Go ahead. Yep, sorry for it.
This is Joel chapter 3, verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine?
The ones that were inhabiting Tyre and Zidon, those were who? Those were Hamitic nations, man.
Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Go ahead.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. And the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Galatians,
the Grecians,
the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their borders. Behold, I will rise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the...
Go ahead.
And verse 8, and I will sell your sons and daughters into the hands of the children of Judah.
And you see how you... hold on. You said...
to the children.
Go ahead. Yeah, keep going.
And they shall sell them to the Sabines.
The Sabians, which is more Africans. And you see how this thing works, man? How the Africans sold us in slavery into the so-called white man. You know, in the so-called white, because the Grecians in this chapter is talking about the so-called white man. You know, it's not talking about the Japhetic people that originally inhabited that land. It's talking about the so-called white man. And there was a whole captivity called the Greek captivity that was prophesied about in the book of Daniel. Well, it wasn't the Japhites that were ruling over us. It wasn't those Etruscans that were ruling over us that had us in captivity. It was the so-called white man. And then you got their artifacts that they left in certain places to show you that it was them. Hell, they rechanged the whole face of Egypt. Now, when you look at certain artifacts in Egypt, you got white faces on it, you know? A lot of those mummies in the Smithsonian's, those are actually the Ptolemies, man. You know, but those people that were set up at that time, this goes to show you that the people that are ruling over now are the same people as them. Because it said that the Hamites sold us into their hands.
This is Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 20. Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, if you can break my covenant of the day,
because this is ultimately what they wanted to do. That's why all of those nations were confederate. That's the reason why they all came together and planned this out. You know, this slavery right here with the children of Israel in it, they planned it out. You know, because it's not just here where the children of Israel are oppressed. A lot of these elites and people that are over in these other nations, let's say for instance, to use India for example. They know who the true Indian, who would that be over there? Elamites. They know who the Elamites are versus the Israelites. The Israelites are people that are over there are the ones that are of a darker hue. So they get treated bad. They get dogged out over there. It's not just in this nation where the Israelites get treated bad, but it's wherever they're scattered at, man. Because those curses followed them where they were. And one of the curses was that these nations will hate us, man. And that they'll look down on us. So they wanted to pretty much cut us off. You know, they don't want Israel to be no more in remembrance. Because they know that if they cut off the nation of Israel, then there's no more covenant. Didn't it say in Romans the 9th chapter to whom were given the covenants? Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah still in verse 20. If you can break my covenant of the day and my covenant of the night, and that there should not be day and night in their season, then may also my covenant be broken with David my servant, that he should not have a son to reign.
And Esau, the mad scientist, you know, that search out all things. Hey, he's trying to do that. He's trying to turn day night and night day. You know, they want to blow up the moon. You know, they want to send drones into outer space to search out the heavens. They want to count and number the stars. You know, they want to search the depths of the sea. You know, because they really want Israel to be cut off. They don't want the Most High dealing with us anymore. You know, so that they can have free range to do whatever the hell that they want. But their new world order isn't going to come into fruition. The Most High is about to. What's the scripture say when they are about to fulfill their enterprise? You know, Khan.
Still in verse 21. I'll start over in verse 21. Then may also my covenant be broken with David my servant, that he should not have a son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites, the priests, my ministers.
You know, and now David has an everlasting son to reign upon his throne. You know, because who did doesn't it say in Hebrews 7:14, for it's evident that our Lord sprang out of the tribe of Judah? And when you go to Romans 1:3, it tells you that he was of the seed and the bloodline of David, according to the flesh. You know, according to the flesh. There you go with that flesh again. In Romans it says that he came for his brethren, according to the flesh. So that means what? He only came for the Israelites. You know, whom you people have trodden down, whom you people have put into slavery, whom you people have dogged out, you know, raped our women, robbed us, taken our land. So guess what? Hey, the Lord is prepared to do you dirty.